So my name is Jack Douglas. I'm with Packet Storm. I co-chair the IPMX group, and I'm going to go through the things that we've been doing over the last year. These are the organizations that are associated with IPMX. First, you have AES, AIMS, AMWA, EBU, SMPTE, the VSF, and this is all part of the JTNM organization. So what is IPMX? So IPMX is a series of specifications, TR10 series, and it allows you to have the exchange of compressed or uncompressed video, audio, and ancillary data for the Pro AV market. And it's really built on 2110 and the way that 2110 works. So in some ways, it will actually interwork with 2110. These are the companies that have been participating in the calls that we've been having. So there are about 32 companies, I think, that are there. So it keeps growing, and there's a lot of interest in this. These are the set of documents that we have at this point. So there are basically 14 documents in the whole series. This one right here is just got published. I saw an email about that this morning, so that could be green. So there's really only one document left to have the whole full series, which is the -9 version of it. So there's a whole set of them. They are all up on the website. Some of them are as drafts because we haven't fully verified in a interop test or something like that if there's any changes that need to be made. But for the most part, everything is posted. The codec document, which is already talked about, it is shown it is being published up there, and I believe it'll be posted as he said just when he gets back to Atlanta, right? And probably the -10 would be in a similar situation. Okay. There are two AGs here, which are activity group reports on switches, and we're still trying to decide exactly what we want to do with those or whether we want to do some modifications to it. And there are some dissectors also associated with this that are posted up on the website. Now, if you look on this chart here also, it has that there was a workshop back in March of 2023 at the NFL, and we ran a certain set of tests during that. And then we had an implementation testing event in January of this year to validate all the different parts of these standards so that we could say that they are now fully published and fully released rather than being drafts. And then we have an upcoming event that we're planning in March of next year, which would be for the start of a logo kind of a program. So there'll be a JTNM tested like test plan that we're going to put together. The companies that are going to be participating in this, the idea is that they would get a logo coming out of that. We could then use that test plan at some type of external test house, and that those test house could then continue to run the test, and people that want to be certified would be able to have some type of logo associated with it. Okay? So I'm going to be talking a bit more about that. Yes?
Where are you planning on having that event?
That event will most likely be, and I'll be talking about that in just a minute, at the NFL, because what we want to do is go announce this at NAB. Okay, and you'll see how that fully fits into the plans. And Phil will probably be helping us with that whole thing at the NFL, as we see it here. Okay? So if you go to the VSF website, you'll find all these documents there. You can download them. It says which ones are draft form and which ones are fully released. So talk about the events that we had. We had a Dirty Hands. This was at LA at the NFL, which was in March of last year. And these are the companies that participated in that. And this was to validate the technical documents for that. These are the folks that participated in that. And then we had an implementation testing event. So we wanted to see how well the implementations were working. So this was in Munich just before ISE this year in the January timeframe. And then the ISE was in February. And these are the companies that participated in that. So at least 2 vendors had to be able to interoperate using the standards to say that it was fully validated, that everything was good on it. And here are some pictures from that testing event. You have a nice facility over there. Okay, and then we have at VidTrans, we had a demonstration, and we showed here TR10-1, TR10-2, 3, 8, and 11 at this demonstration at VidTrans. And this is how it was all interconnected. And this is a picture of it at VidTrans. So we're looking then at a tested event coming up next year just before NAB. It's likely, as we see it at this point, to be at the NFL. We're still working out the final arrangements for that. It will probably be the last week of March, week of 24th, again, just before NAB, so people could travel there, then go to NAB afterwards. And the validation criteria would be you have to pass the IPMX tested event test plan for the specific profiles. And we mentioned profiles a little bit earlier when we were talking about the codex. And so you would pick a set of things that would fall into this profile. And those are the things that you would test and say, I'm logoed to be able to pass these pieces of it. Okay. There's still some of this in the planning. We're still working on it, but this is what we believe will be the case at this point. And then validate the test plan for this IPMX logo program that we would like to have some test houses begin to do that. And there are a number of places that could run tests like that for you automatically. And then an IPMX logo for those companies that passed the test, much like you had with the JT&M tested sticker, but this is something you could actually put on your box and say, I have passed IPMX. We believe that's really what's needed to continue to drive this market forward. Okay, so these are the trade shows that we participated in, and IPMX was a really big part of each one of these trade shows. So we had ISE in Barcelona, giant show, NAB in Las Vegas, Infocom in Las Vegas, which was also a very large show, and IBC in Amsterdam. And you can see the boat that they had for the IP showcase for that. And that was very successful. I believe they had, 3 or 4 different sessions on the boat, and they were full every time. So they had a good attendance for that. So what are we looking at here for NAB 2025? So this is in April, which will be right after this test that we have tentatively at the NFL. NAB said that they really want to push the Pro AV, the IPMX kind of a market. They want to become the ISE in the United States for this type of a market. So we're going to announce the IPMX tested event results. We're going to announce the IPMX logo program at that. We will work with the NAB to promote IPMX, which they said they will give us lots of free marketing and things associated with that. NAB is to make this a major marketing focus for this coming year. NAB wants to become, as I just mentioned, the ISE in the United States. So this is the Pro AV type of show. NAB sponsored IPMX training sessions and the demonstration area. So they're going to pay for all this. They're going to sponsor this for us. So they really want to drive this. And there's going to be 16 presentations on the main IP showcase stage. Okay. And then they even offered to help host the interop there if we wanted to do it, just to give you some idea of how dedicated they really are to pushing this. We will probably still have it because of the infrastructure at the NFL, because they have all the pieces that we need. Okay. And that's the end of the slides. Are there any questions about anything?
How does this impact Infocom?
Infocom will probably be, we would start using the test plan at test houses and begin to announce that piece. That's still all in works, right? We're trying to decide exactly